Hey everybody, take a look what I finally got behind me here. And now we've got a whole lot of work to do. Now the first thing I actually did with this was drive around and bush hog on the yard. Now I know you're supposed to use a bush hog on the yard, but our yard was severely overgrown because the lawnmower is broken. So to kind of get used just to the simple start, stop, forward, backward, left, right kind of procedures, I mowed the yard with it a bit yesterday. So now that I've got a little bit of a better understanding on the operation and the safety of the tractor, now I need to get to work. Now the biggest project that we have waiting for us in terms of necessity is our driveway. Let me show you the problems we're having. As you can tell, we've got a rock driveway and the ground is slightly sloped, higher on that side than it is toward our driveway. And so where you see this bit of a rut is because before this grass grew in, we had a bit of runoff that covered up the driveway, and now it's turned that into a pothole. But that is by far probably the least of our worries. You can see that there are a series of potholes right here at the apex of the driveway. This is right where you either coming up or down from the roundabout that's right in front of the house. And this is just, the only vehicle we have is a minivan. I have a vehicle for my work as well that handles this driveway a bit better, but the poor minivan is just about tired of this. Now the sad thing is you don't even know what's wrong with this. The sad thing is that probably about a half inch or an inch below all this red dirt is blacktop, asphalt. We had some asphalt delivered to us once because this had just gotten so bad and had it spread out. This is the bottom of it. And what I mean is there's a bit of an upslope toward the road. If I spin you 180, there's the upslope going toward the house. And just rough guessing from how tall I am and how well I cannot see over that hill, I'm guessing it's a good 10-foot rise. So I mean, you can understand why we don't just have this filled in with dirt. So anyway, this is runoff primarily from where the dog is up there and come down and just completely envelop this. Now probably, despite all the bumps and bruises, probably the worst actual part of the driveway to actually try to navigate is right here, because hidden in that lump of grass in center screen right between the dirt path on the far right and the gravel on the left, that patch of grass right in the middle of the screen, that's actually a little bit of a rut, a ditch. And then on the other side on this grass, I think it's a little more obvious to see the big rut that's there. And we've pretty much taken to straddling this rut in order to get through. So this is probably the worst part of the driveway. It needs to be repaired right away. But this is what's actually going to be my biggest challenge, my water meter. Because my water line comes in from the road and then down this way to the driveway. And then almost right down the middle up to the top of the hill and down the driveway just a little bit more before it takes almost a 90-degree turn to the back side of the house. I can understand why it was installed that way, as difficult as it's going to be for me to work with now, because where else would they put it? I mean, this entire area over here is a mess. Oh, there would have been a whole lot of clearing that had to be done to make that work. It was the only other way to get in. So what I'm going to do is practice a little bit on the upside of the driveway here and get used to the implement. And when I'm familiar enough with it that I think I can reasonably feel safe around the water pipe, then I will shut off the water in case a mistake is made and proceed to work around the water pipe. And there's actually another section of water pipe as well that services that hose bib over there. But the good news about it is I know exactly where it is, because there's a rut from where it was actually put in after we had the driveway installed, and there's a bit of a rut still from where everything settled afterwards. So alright, so that's my long explanation of what we're going to do first with the brand new tractor. Buddy, well, that's going to be it for today on this project, but there's still a lot that needs to be done. You know, when I got the box blade, I was told by a couple different people that I might eventually want to end up getting just a leveling blade, because the box blade was going to be good to help break everything up right now, but in the future it was going to be easier to maintain this just using a blade, and I can see why. I think the next time I come out here, I'm going to remove the tines off of the box blade and just use the box itself and try to get this a little more level. I did put the bucket on float and drive backwards over all this to try to level it out, but I think I can do a little bit better job with the box blade if I just take the tines off. So if you can tell, this is a lot more level. Now, to get it level, I basically had to make the driveway about twice the size as it was before, but I really don't have too much of a problem with that. And it's certainly not perfectly level, but it certainly also doesn't have big ditches in it anymore where we're going to bottom out our minivan like we were doing before. Going toward the house, you can kind of see where some of this blacktop that I had told you we had placed down before has come back up. Not all of it. Again, I'm still kind of nervous about going down too far, snagging the water line, so really just more worried about trying to get it flat on top than go all the way down and loosen everything back up. And as we get toward the top of the hill, you kind of see the rivets on the right and left. You can tell where the new material is that was scraped off the top and pushed off to the side. This was another one of the big ravines and ditches caused by the runoff. And everything filled in pretty well. I mean, there certainly is a lot to learn as far as, you know, having a finesse with the box blade, but overall I'm pretty happy with how things have turned out for this time. I think probably the only way to make it look better, other than having a whole lot more hours of skill under my belt with the machine, would be if I had like a rake that I could put at the end of this. You can see all the grass clods from where the grass had started growing over that have now been torn out, and if I had a rake, I think I could better distribute some of the top rock and get rid of all the extra grass. But unless it takes root again, which we're not scheduled to have rain for like the next week, hopefully it'll just decompose where it is, get back into the soil. Well, one thing I also wanted to mention, I'm going to come back through here later, and the intention is to add a bit of a ditch right here. You can still see that the entire ground level is higher on the left than it is on the right, to still include the driveway. So what I'd like to do is right down the edge of the driveway put a channel, and you can also see probably that the ground further from me is higher than the ground closer to me. So if I can dig a deeper channel from that side coming this way, hopefully I can run the water off, follow the natural slope of the land the rest of the way, just stop it from getting onto the driveway, and then I'll take it off and it'll go behind everything here, and then there's a natural ravine down that way. So just try to direct the water around the driveway and then down. So that's another day. So there you are. That is the first real use of the brand new farm tractor. Happy Jared.